Yes, after understanding chart for accounting treatment of goodwill, let us now focus on the questions based on that understanding. Please open your textbooks. It's page number 133, question number 12. Let us read the question once. Rasila, Dhara and Sarla are partners of a partnership firm sharing profits in equal proportion. Let me put it like this. Sum number 12. Rasila, Dhara and Sarla. RDS. ये RDS है, RDX नहीं है. They are sharing in equal proportion. That means what? Old ratio is 1:1:1. Okay. They've decided to change their profit and loss sharing ratio to 5:3:2. So new ratio is 5:3:2. Okay. They've decided to value a goodwill at rupees 45,000. Friends, decided to value. Can we say they are talking about new value of goodwill? 45,000. Goodwill account is not disclosed in the books. Can we say old value of goodwill is 0, nil? Now, from the above information, pass journal entries for each of the following cases. First case, when full amount of goodwill to be shown in the books. Now friends, let us go back to the chart and understand. First of all, on the right hand side, is there any goodwill in old balance sheet? So my answer must be no. Now do we require to show it in new balance sheet? So my answer must be yes, as in the question it is given. You can read the question. In the question it is clearly stated when the full amount of goodwill is to be shown in the books. So what I am supposed to do? I need to pass a single journal entry, goodwill account debited to old partners in old profit sharing ratio. Please check. So the entry will be goodwill account debited. It is 45,000 to Rasila, Dhara and Sarla. That must be in old profit sharing ratio, that is 1:1:1. Can we say it must be 15,000 and 15,000? Okay, done. Here we are supposed to find out only, or supposed to pass only one journal entry. Now let's have case number 2. Please read what they are saying. When partners do not desire to show goodwill, when partners do not desire to show goodwill, that means what? Let us refer to the chart. Is there any goodwill in old balance sheet? The answer is no. Do we require to show it in new balance sheet? Again the answer is no. That's why I will raise goodwill once in old partners old ratio and will write it off in new partners new ratio. So there is going to, it's very simple to understand from the chart that there is going to be two entries. Once we will raise the amount of goodwill and then we will be writing it off. Let's see. Okay, let us write down. Goodwill account debited, it's 45,000 to RDS. Old ratio is 1:1:1. That is 15,000 and 15,000. Now let us write it off. RDS, न्यू पार्टनर्स न्यू रेशियो. देखो यहाँ पे पार्टनर्स तो चेंज नहीं हो रहा है, लेकिन ऑब्वियसली रेशियो चेंज हो रहा है. सो टू गुडविल अकाउंट टोटल अमाउंट इज 45,000 एंड न्यू रेशियो इज, प्लीज चेक फ्रेंड्स, अभी अभी हम लोगों ने लिखा न्यू रेशियो कितना है, इट इज 5:3:2. ओके, लेट्स पास द सेम एंट्री. 5:3:2 कितना होगा, इज गोइंग टू बी 45,000 इंटू 5/10. Can we say it is 22,500? then 45,000 into 3 by 10, it is 13,500, and 45,000 into 2 by 10, and it is coming 9,000. That is how we can finish our case number 2. Let's see case number 3. Okay, what they have given: when the effect of goodwill is to be given directly to the partner's capital account. Please underline the words, it is directly to the partner's capital account. Can you recall, friends? I have already discussed with you the point at the time of discussing the chart. It is directly to partner's capital account, or we can say without opening goodwill account. Now let us go back to the chart and understand what to do. Okay, whenever it is given without opening goodwill account or directly to partner's capital account, please try to recall my explanation. Goodwill account debit to old partner's old ratio, entry will be given in working note. Writing of entry will be given in the working note, and we will do the cancellation of the same to get the final answer. Let's see how to do it. Here we'll be preparing a working note kind of entries. First entry: goodwill account debited 45,000 to R, D and S 1:1:1, 15,000, 15,000 and 15,000. Writing of will be second entry RDS to goodwill. It is total 45,000, and we can use the amounts from the above entry: 22,500, 13,500 and 9,000. Now let's see. Can I say this will be in 5:3:2? Now can we cancel this goodwill? Because you can say amounts are same. Goodwill is debit by 45,000, here goodwill is credit by 45,000. Let's cancel. Now in R's capital account 15,000 is credited, and against that 22,500 is debited. So can we pass the net journal entry? R account debited 7,500. Then in D's capital account, credit is 15,000 and debit is 13,500. So can we say net credit in D's capital account is 1,500, and same way S में credit किया है 15,000 and debit है 9,000. So to S capital account it is 6,000. That is how we can give the direct treatment in partner's capital account. That is R account debited 7,500 to D and to S. Remember, friends, during exams you are not supposed to show these journal entries over there. You are supposed to directly write down this as an answer. Okay, so as we are done with question number 12 from the textbook, I hope you will be able to complete question number 9, 10 and 11. They are on the same grounds. Now let us proceed towards the question number 17. Let's see. Let us read the question once. Rajiv, Sagar and Esha are partners of a partnership firm. Who are the partners? Rajiv, Sagar and Esha. Question number 17. Okay. Now what to do? They have profit sharing ratio of 4:3:3. Can we say old profit sharing ratio is 4:3:3? The value of goodwill is disclosed in the books at rupees 15,000. Can we say old value of goodwill is 15,000? Partners have decided to change profit sharing ratio to 2:2:1. So new ratio will be 2:2:1. And to make revaluation of goodwill, for each of the following pass necessary journal entries in the books of the firm. Okay, let us do it. Okay, case 1. What if when the goodwill is increased by 15,000? When goodwill is increased by 15,000. So can we say old value was 15,000? Now new value will become 30,000. It is increased by 15,000. So can we say we need to increase our goodwill amount by 15,000? We have already discussed. Whenever we want to increase the value of goodwill, it will be increased in old partners old ratio. And goodwill is an asset. So increase का मतलब ये हुआ कि हमें goodwill का account debit करना पड़ेगा. So entry is going to be goodwill account debited 15,000 to old partners old ratio, that is RSE. 4:3:3. That comes to 6,000, 4,500 and 4,500. Is the end of case number 1. Please check under case number 2 what we need to do. Value of goodwill is written off after increase in the value as mentioned in 1 above. That means write off goodwill in case 1, isn't it? So हमें क्या करना है, सबसे पहले केस 1 के तरह हमें पहले गुडविल इंक्रीज करनी पड़ेगी. लेट अस पास द एंट्री फॉर द सेम. गुडविल अकाउंट डेबिटेड 15,000 टू व्हाट RSE, and that is 4:3:3. That comes to 6,000, 4,500 and 4,500. Now friends remember, पहले ओल्ड वैल्यू कितना था? ओल्ड वैल्यू था 15,000 रुपीज़. एंड नाउ नया आपने कितना इंक्रीज किया? नया आपने और 15,000 रुपीज़ इंक्रीज किया. ठीक है. नाउ अगर मैं आपको राइट ऑफ करने का बोलूँ तो राइट ऑफ टोटल कितना करना पड़ेगा? मुझे टोटल राइट ऑफ 30,000 रुपीज़ करना पड़ेगा. सो RSE to goodwill is going to be 30,000. Now please check what ratio they have mentioned. New ratio is 2:2:1. So let's apply the same over here. It is 2:2:1. So कितना होगा यहाँ पे? Can we say it is 12,000, 12,000 and 6,000. Remember friends, यहाँ पे ऐसा बोला गया था पहले गुडविल को 15,000 इंक्रीज करना है एंड फिर राइट ऑफ करना है. तो इंक्रीज करने के लिए गुडविल अकाउंट डेबिटेड 15,000 एंड इन ओल्ड पार्टनर्स ओल्ड रेशियो, एंड उसके बाद अगर राइट ऑफ करना है तो न्यू पार्टनर्स न्यू रेशियो. दो यहाँ पे पार्टनर तो सेम ही रहते हैं लेकिन रेशियो चेंज हो जाता है 2:2:1 टू गुडविल. रिमेंबर हियर विल बी राइटिंग ऑफ एंटायर अमाउंट ऑफ गुडविल, मतलब टोटल 30,000. हाउ दिस 30,000 केम? Original value of goodwill 15,000, you have increased another 15,000, so in total we need to write off 30,000 rupees. Now let's see case number 3. Case number 3 says that when the value of goodwill is reduced by 10,000, goodwill is reduced by rupees 10,000. Now please check. Old value of goodwill is 15,000. If you reduce by 10,000, can I say new value will become 5,000? Ultimately, I need to decrease the value of goodwill by rupees 5,000. Sorry, it's by rupees 10,000. It's by rupees 10,000. So now, अगर हमें goodwill को decrease करना है तो रिमेंबर गुडविल इज एन असेट. असेट मीन्स रियल अकाउंट. और अगर इसको डिक्रीज करना है तो मुझे इसको क्रेडिट करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है. अगर क्रेडिट करना है तो चेक करो, एंट्री कुछ ऐसी बनेगी. गुडविल अकाउंट को हम लोग क्रेडिट करेंगे 10,000 रुपये से. उसके सामने डेबिट होगा कौन? ओल्ड पार्टनर्स ओल्ड रेशियो. एंड ओल्ड रेशियो इज हाउ मच? 4:3:3. So the amounts will be 4,000 in R's capital, 3,000 in S capital and 3,000 in E's capital. That's it. क्योंकि यहाँ पे हमें राइट ऑफ करने के लिए नहीं बोला गया है तो हम लोग सिर्फ क्या करेंगे? रिड्यूस करके छोड़ देंगे. सो ओनली वन एंट्री विल बी गिवन. लेट्स मूव टू केस नंबर 4. प्लीज रीड केस नंबर 4 केयरफुली. When the value of goodwill is written off after reduction in the value of goodwill as mentioned in case number 3. मतलब क्या करना है? हमें गुडविल को राइट ऑफ करना है इन केस नंबर 3. हाउ टू डू इट? सबसे पहले क्या होता है? ओरिजिनल वैल्यू था 15,000 और नया वैल्यू हो गया 5,000. कैन आई से फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई नीड टू रिड्यूस द अमाउंट ऑफ गुडविल बाय 10,000 एंड रिडक्शन के लिए ऐसी ही एंट्री देनी पड़ेगी. सो फर्स्ट एंट्री विल बी RSE to goodwill 10,000. Ratio is 4:3:3. That comes to 4,000, 3,000 and 3,000. Now remember friends, यहाँ पे आपको ऐसा बोला गया है कि बाद में भी मुझे गुडविल को बैलेंस शीट में नहीं दिखाना है. तो आफ्टर गिविंग दिस जर्नल एंट्री, व्हाट इज द सिचुएशन ऑफ गुडविल? इट वॉज ओरिजिनली 15,000. उसके बाद आपने 10,000 रिड्यूस किया, तो अभी कितनी गुडविल बची होगी? 5,000. दैट 5,000 मस्ट बी रिटन ऑफ इन, रिमेंबर फ्रेंड्स, वेन एवर वी आर यूजिंग द वर्ड राइटिंग ऑफ, इट मस्ट बी इन न्यू पार्टनर्स न्यू रेशियो. सो इट विल बी RSE to goodwill 5,000. You can check the new ratio on the top of the example. It is 2:1. That's why it is going to be 2,000, 2,000 and 1,000. Friend, this was all about goodwill. So after doing question number 17, you will be easily able to do question number 13, 14, 15 and 16. Thank you.